Hey guys, Square Logan Vaping here.
What's going on, guys?
That's Chad of Clouds. I'm Clouds and Rose, and today I'm mainly going to be talking to you about this, the Subtank. Most of you know what this is, and most of you know what I'm probably about to gripe about. Now, granted, my Subtank that I got was used, but it was barely used. And also, I would love to do the rebuilding part of it. I would love to rebuild on it, but the rebuilding deck that I have is actually for the Subtank Mini, so I can't do that.
That's the problem whenever you go out and do like trades or something like that. If you do a trade, make sure you know what you're getting before you get it. I actually did the trade for him, but I mean, I'll be honest with you, the guy that we traded for, he thought that he had every piece of it that came with it. We got the box and everything. The only problem is that the rebuilding deck that he gave us was the one for the Mini and not the one for the Plus, which is what he's got and what he's vaping right now. I have one myself too, and basically the reason we're complaining about it today, I'm sorry, Kanger, but we just I've had nothing but problems with the Subtanks.
Same.
Like, there's so many people out there that I know that are like, no, I mean, I don't know why these people keep complaining about the Subtank. I got my own personal griping that I can do about it here in a little bit, but just to say the least, like, from what I've seen so far is like,
it's not the best sub-ohm tank on the market.
It really is not. Like,
it looks the coolest, and it's probably the biggest. I love that it can hold like 6 mils, which is really convenient if you're doing sub-ohm, because you know, if you've got a dripper out there, you just got to constantly drip on juice. But right now, I've got the nickel coils in here, and I'm running it in 380 degrees, 50 joules, and I mean, just look. I have to take long ass drags and I'm getting spit back in my mouth just because these coils, for a while they were telling me when I primed them, because my coils that I was using in there, they just wouldn't work. They would spit back at me no matter what. It seems every single time I fill this up, even if I don't prime it first and I wash out the coils, I will always get spit back in my mouth. And that's something that you're gonna get with a sub-ohm tank with one of these pre-built coils in there. That's just one of the things. But I mean, like, it was telling me, and it was telling him too, whenever he rebuilt his, it was like dry coil, no juice, and we know for a fact that there's juice on there, so we can figure out why the hell it wasn't working. But
what's really weird though is, like, my problem, I got a Subtank probably about, this was probably about a couple months ago, I want to say back in like March or maybe April, I don't know. But when I got it, everything was fine on it. I used it on temp control probably twice because I didn't have any temp control coils for a while there. And then I got a new coil, like 2 new coils, and I tried one on there, and I had to take it down to one of our shops down here, Surrounding a Vapor Company, and I had to look at it, and we spent probably a good hour or so looking at it, trying to figure out what was wrong with it, because I was running it on my IPv4 in temp control mode, and he's got the same thing, IPv4 with the Subtank Plus, same thing as I do, same setup, same coils, and my IPv4 wouldn't read it in temp control mode. Like, it wouldn't fire it. It would be like, sorry, you can't fire, because it would show up an error message like dry coil, no liquid, and then like the very first message would pop up would say short, exclamation point. And then I'd hit it again, and it would say, dry coil, no liquid. And it just kept doing that error message no matter what. And then we even tried it, my Subtank, on a Snow Wolf, and it worked fine, which is really weird. And then we tried,
something with the IPVs?
I don't really know what's up with it, but then we tried the Arctic on the IPv4 and put it in a temp control mode, and it was firing fine. And we made sure it was a nickel coil and everything. We popped a new coil out at the shop, a brand new coil, popped it out of the package, put it in there, and it still wouldn't read, even after priming and letting it sit for like 10 minutes. It's just, I have had nothing but problems with the Kanger Subtank Plus.
And it leaks like a bitch. I mean, if you let these things sit for a while, they'll leak out of the air holes, and every single time it seems like I try to unscrew it or rescrew it, since there's only these little O-rings holding this little glass piece, the glass piece will slide, and then juice will seep out of there and either get
like, what it's doing is it's taking like a vacuum where it's pushing the liquid out through the top and the bottom of the glass where it's together. Like right here, the juice will leak out right there and right there, because when you twist it, you unscrew it, it twists it and it pushes a vacuum of air that pushes the juice out through there and there. And sometimes it'll come out through the air holes, which is just
how hard you
pain in the
try.
ass.
There's no way to get this thing not to leak. I mean, it's just impossible. At least in my experience. Now, other people might have other experiences out there. We may have just gotten a bad batch of sub tanks.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure they're not clones because we know our shit.
That, and not to mention the fact that the only clones I've seen that are Kanger Subtanks, they don't even say Kanger on them. They're just tanks that look like the sub tank, and it doesn't even say Kanger on it, so you know it. And if it doesn't have the authenticity card, it's not real.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to bump this up right now, but still, I mean,
it's just like for me, it's weird because like whenever I first started using it, like. I didn't have any problems when I was running it in wattage mode. I don't know, maybe the sub tank just doesn't like temp control. It's weird. I don't really know how to explain it, but like you can't run it.
Make nickel coils for it, and it doesn't like temp control.
And I even took like, and by the way, don't take a nickel coil and run it on watts because that'll burn the coil itself really quickly. Because nickel wire is really thin and it has a very, very low resistance on it. So it's very kind of flimsy almost, but like it can heat up too quick if you put it in the wattage mode to where it'll pretty much destroy the coil like immediately after hitting it a couple times. So just putting that out there, be safe with your nickel coils. Just know what you're doing before you do it. But yeah, like we've had lots of problems with these. I mean, there's no offense to the Kanger brand because
I'm in love with Kanger. That's what
I love I started on the ProTank Mini.
Yeah,
whenever I first set up from the EVOD, I went to a ProTank Mini 2 with a Vision Spinner V2 battery, and I was running that thing for a good 3 months and had no problems with it. But then I get the sub tank and it's like something went wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say we just got a couple bad sub tanks, but I mean. It's kind of hard to say that
because we're not the only people with the problem.
Yeah, we're not the only ones with the problem, and it'd be kind of a coincidence for us to be like two really good friends and have the exact same problems with the sub tank.
Yeah.
It's just weird, especially considering we're running it on IPVs, and I've never had problems with an IPv4. I've never had problems with an IPv3. I've never had problems with the Sigelli. I mean, I know it's not the box because it'll run any other tank on there. Like I even put I just recently got an Aspire Atlantis V2 tank, and I put a nickel coil in there and ran it on temp control on my PV4, and it was fine. So I honestly think something is wrong with the sub tank. I don't know what it is.
But I mean, if you just want.
But I mean, you need to check it out before you plan on doing it for temp control. Like get like an Aspire Aspire Atlantis V2 or a Nautilus or something, or an Arctic.
That'll be coming soon.
Or a Donner even. I mean, those things, they have them at a lot of the shops in town here in Chattanooga, and those things are pretty good for flavor. But yeah, if you're going to be doing a temp control, I don't recommend the sub tank because I've had nothing but problems with it.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get my hands on some regular 0.5 resistance coils with just the regular
like
standard
wattage
that I can use it in wattage. But I mean, hell, if you want a fucking $60 paperweight, it looks pretty cool on your mod, go ahead and get this. But if you're planning on running it in temp control mode, you're not going to get a good vape on it. Because I mean, just look at this. Like watch. Look at his cloud compared to my cloud.
Not to mention, I am running an RDA, so it's kind of a bad comparison.
Like that
was like what, a 4-second pull?
Yeah, and I mean, whenever I put in my 1.2 ohm coils on my Aero tank, I was getting about that size of a cloud.
I'm gonna do a 2-second pull, and we'll compare. It's about the same thing as doing a 2-second pull on an RDA for like, what was that, like 4 or 5?
That was like 6 almost. I mean,
and that was
it's kind of
less than the 2-second on an RDA.
But then again, I mean, you get what you pay for. It's not an RDA. It is one of those, you have the option to rebuild on it, but if you're too lazy like me and you just don't want to fuck around with building single coils, then...
Well, I mean, the thing is, the main thing about these sub-tanks is it's all about convenience of not having to drip whenever you're out and about. Yeah. That's a good thing for it.
Because if you're a dripper out there and you literally carry around 4 or 5 bottles of juice with you in your pocket.
But what's weird is like when he first got the sub tank, there were no problems with it, just like with me. And then like month, not even a month in. It was like a week,
No, yeah, it was maybe even a few days.
and it's already starting to screw up. Like,
Yeah, like I haven't hit this thing ever since I got my Doge because I was like,
it's
no.
been sitting in a bottle.
Yeah, it's been sitting in my little empty pill bottle so that it'll properly.
Yeah, so it won't leak all over the place.
It's been wicking for 2 or 3 days now,
and you can see how like it's not doing anything. Is the flavor?
No, the flavor. It almost tastes like shit. I love the flavor on here. It's certified 5, 10, 20, I think. It's one of the certified e-liquids.
I literally had no flavor from that unless it was the exhale, and it was like a second exhale.
It's almost like you get
That was
unflavored
nothing.
e-liquid, and I'm a flavor person. Like
That's
I like
if you
Cloud
took
Roll.
like straight VG and poured it in a bottle. Don't do that. I've done it before. It's like straight no flavor, nothing. It's weird. I don't know. But that's about it.
That's
for
our
us.
2 cents.
If you want to go
it is
for
what it
it,
is.
it's your choice.
Our recommendation would
I
get
personally
an
don't
Arctic or an
recommend it.
Atlantis.
Really, I've even looked into the Arctic. I've tried
What
one
Arctic?
before. It's not bad, except it
The Atlantis
sucks
is
juice
better.
like crazy. Go with the Atlantis V2. I've heard good reviews about it. I've heard people who are at shops, shop owners, and people who work at shops, and they've all recommended the Atlantis V2, and that's what convinced me to get one. And I've loved it. I haven't had any problems with it, and I've had it for about a week and a half now, and I haven't had any problems. So,
Anyways, we're gonna wrap
thank you
this up.
guys.
So I'm at Clouds and Roses.
At Chat of Clouds. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Hit that subscribe button right up here and the like button down here. Don't forget to leave your comments, questions, or concerns.
And we will be doing a giveaway soon.
Yes, we will. And if you want, you can even direct message us on Instagram,
Yep,
and
need
we'll
any
get
help
back
with
to you as
anything.
soon as possible. Anyway, thanks for
Alright.
watching, and keep calm and vape on.